Hi guys, my name is Gyarapezi Letlulwane. I'm back again with another episode, another segment where I'll be talking about something that's very dear to me, something I love so much, which is maximizing your LinkedIn or your LinkedIn profile, or maximizing on having a LinkedIn account, right? Um, this is whether you're a job seeker, an active job seeker, a passive job seeker, or you're just a professional or someone that works or that is just interested, But then if you're a job seeker, like I said, whether actively or passively, or if you're an employee or an employer, it's a great tool to have, mainly because LinkedIn is used for so many different things. LinkedIn is actually more of a professional platform. It's also regarded as a social media platform, but then it's a more professional platform, right? Because it's used for networking, for business purposes, for recruiting purposes, for marketing purposes, for so many different purposes, right? A lot of people, some people use it for sales. Like I said, some people use it for marketing, some people use it for recruiting. I rely a lot on LinkedIn as a recruiter. I prefer it over a lot of platforms for a number of reasons, but then that's not why we're here. We're here to discuss how you can best maximize on having a LinkedIn profile, right? So firstly, with LinkedIn, you can as a job seeker or as an employee, you can sort of look at, especially if you want to stand out, if you want your profile to stand out, you need to go and search for the industry that you're in, right? Check how people in that industry have structured their profiles, how they present themselves through their profiles. um, Job titles, not so much, because your job title is usually influenced or based on whatever has been put on your contract, or your letter of appointment, or whatever agreement that you might have with your employer or your client, whatever the case may be, right? So with LinkedIn, you can structure your LinkedIn the same way you structure your social media platforms, right? Your social media platforms such as your Instagram, your Facebook, and all your other social media platforms. It, especially if your professional life or your work aligns with it. So say for instance, if you're an influencer, like maybe a brand influencer, or a content creator on YouTube, or usually you'd want your people on LinkedIn to see what your people on Instagram are seeing, right? However, if that is not the case, you need to maintain a certain level of professionalism on LinkedIn, even on your social media platforms. I say that because I see a lot of companies right now are requesting people's social media platforms just to establish the type of people that they are, on during their personal time or private life, or whatever the case may be, because the job may require for them to know, or the company to know, the business to know, right? So sometimes there is that element, right? But then it's your private space, and you can also deal with that the way it suits you best. So with LinkedIn, like I said earlier, I'll go back to what I was saying earlier, that you go onto LinkedIn, you search the industry that you're in, you check how industry leaders are presenting themselves, how companies are presenting themselves, the type of people that they're hiring, right? The type of people that they're hiring, because that's the space you potentially might be hired in, or are being you working in that space. So you want to align with that space. And then when it comes to your profile picture, right? Your profile picture in training, when you're a recruiter, one of the things that you're being trained that you're trained at or in is to check the person's profile picture, because that sometimes helps you to actually establish that this is the same person that you saw on Instagram. Remember I said, excuse me, you do potentially, excuse me, search on Instagram the person that you're looking for, and that's because as recruiters um, do or undertake something that's called X-ray searches or social media searches, because sometimes you don't look on LinkedIn, but then you search on social media, like you put in a search string to check people on social media, because people are more active on their social media spaces more than they are on LinkedIn. And sometimes not because of that, but then sometimes people just have a social media like an Instagram profile or Facebook profile, and they don't have a LinkedIn profile, because with some jobs it's not really a requirement, or it's not really, it's neither here nor there whether you have a LinkedIn profile or you don't, right? Please excuse me for the noise outside. So it's mainly based on that. So people, recruiters will then go and conduct something that's called a social media search, and we'll see that again you're a marketing manager on social media. They see that on Instagram that, oh, your Buhlali is a marketing manager. Let me check them out on LinkedIn, and they go on LinkedIn and they find a Buhlali Mkwanazi, for instance, on LinkedIn. Your profile, because I've seen you on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and then the first thing I see most of the time is your profile picture, and that helps me establish that you're the same person that I saw on Instagram or on Facebook, So usually, personally, because I know this, I have the same profile picture right across right across the platforms that I'm active on, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. I have the same profile picture because this is something that I'm aware about. And then your title. You need to have a title that aligns to what you're doing, right? And I know sometimes that's not the case, but then you've got a section on your profile on your LinkedIn profile where you can put in your keywords or the about section on LinkedIn. So what you do is, so you open your profile, of course, you scroll down just a few times, and you'll see there's a section that says about. That's where you then sort of briefly describe. You can describe in detail. You can describe briefly. This is what you do. These are some of the tasks that you undertake, and your responsibilities basically, but then in a more descriptive format, because you also have under your experience, under your job title, the company that you're working for, the tenure that you've been there for, and then you can also then put in you can then start putting your responsibilities, which is really, really, really important, right? You have to do that for each and every role that you've ever undertook. From the first role, whether it was an internship or a learnership or a temporal position, a contract position, whatever the case may be, it is very important for you to list your responsibilities for every job that you've ever had, right? And then you've got the education section. The education section is also equally important, because then recruiters are then able to see what is it that you've studied, the certificates that you have, the degree that you have, the diploma that you have, whatever educational level that you might have, right? And then there's the skills section. The skills section is also one of the most important things, right? Because when a recruiter searches for you on LinkedIn Recruiter, they put in keywords. So if you're marketing, they probably put in keywords such as SOE, search engine optimization, products, the type of teams that you've worked on. They just put in keywords that align with the job spec that they are looking at, right? Because recruiters use job specs, and job specs contain keywords, right? And those keywords are then used by recruiters. Where do they? How do the question then becomes? How do they establish the keywords? They establish keywords by having a conversation with the hiring manager to ask the hiring manager, what is it that you're looking for in this marketing role? Are analytics important? Are analytics important for this person to have? Like I mentioned, SOE. Should they have worked with product management? Should they have worked with brands? Those are keywords that they establish from hiring managers, which then describes the importance of keywords, right? And I see, especially in IT, you see how people sort of try to rig the system, or try to trick the system. They put in every possible keyword, there might be an advantage to that, but there can also be a disadvantage to that, because then your profile becomes very exaggerated. Then it shows that no, this person is actually trying to put in as much keywords as possible so that their profile can pop up, and you might receive a call, right? You might receive a call, and the recruiter will then try to establish what is it that you've done, what is it that you've not done, and they can tell. They'll be able to tell that no, this person is not who they say they are on their profile, right? So there is a bit of a disadvantage to that. But if you've done if you've done whatever it is that you've done, you put it down. It can be as much keywords as possible. Put them down, jot them down on your about section, jot them down on your responsibilities, on your skills. Put whatever it is that you've done, and then what LinkedIn does when you're updating your profile, on the skills section, right? On the skills section, it gives you a lot of the time it gives you pre-populated skills that are in line with what you do, and then you obviously then click on those skills that I've done analytics, I've worked in Adobe as a marketing manager, that is, right? I'm making an example. I've worked in Adobe, I've worked on that. You click those, right? And then it will then populate your skills section. And then when it comes to activity on LinkedIn, your activity is really important. Your activity is then how active you are. The people that you follow, the pages that you follow will help your activity. Just like on Instagram, just like on Facebook, you're able to share on LinkedIn. You're able to share things that are in line with what you're doing, that are in line with whatever is happening in your industry. You're able to share those things. You're able to also participate in conversation. You're able to upload a picture of yourself at work. You're able to upload a video of a project or of a presentation that you're delivering. Those everything that you do, everything that you upload, everything that you share, a lot of those go onto activity, which then is very useful for recruiters, because recruiters also would then while they're looking at your profile, right? while they're looking at your profile, they'll also look at your activity. How active is this person on LinkedIn? They're not really active. Are they really on the market, right? Are they really engaged? Will I get a response from them if I reach out to this person? Um, that that those are things that help a recruiter to establish whether they should or they should not. And this is, I'm not speaking on behalf of every recruiter, but then this is what I see a lot of the time at work with people that I've worked with, listening to videos of recruiters. Just for many, I'm saying this based on various factors, right? And it may not be gospel for some people. So I've touched on the profile picture. I've touched on your keywords, your responsibilities, and then another thing, it's your contact information. So on your profile, you'll see there's a hyperlink there under, just next to your location. There's a hyperlink there that says contact info. You click on contact info, especially if you're active on, if you're an active job seeker. You click on that contact info. It will then there'll be a white pop-up. There'll be your profile. That's the link. That's the link to your LinkedIn profile. And then there's a pencil-like icon just on your right, top right-hand corner. You click on that pencil, and then you'll see it gives you an option to add your phone number, your address, your details, your birth month, your birthday, your website. So again, some people have websites. So especially if you're a developer, if you're in marketing, a lot of digital spaces or a lot of digital professions, you have, like, if you're an art director, right? Or creative director, a lot of people in the creative space will then have the own website where they host their work. You're able to add that on LinkedIn. Excuse me. You're able to add that on LinkedIn. You can add your website. That helps a recruiter to directly contact you. So if you've added your cell phone number, the recruiter can just pick up the phone and call you, rather than having to send an outreach message that you might only see 2 days later, 3 days later, or maybe like what usually happens to me is that sometimes you, as a recruiter, you're very excited about a profile, or sometimes the profile is very vague. You're able to pick up the call because the person has provided information, or their contact information. You're able, instead of you just outright sidelining that profile, you're able to then pick up the phone and call that person and establish whatever it is that you need to establish based on their profile and their experience, right? Which is very helpful, which is then helpful for you as the job seeker. So that's based on contact information, and then you make as many connections as possible. You don't need to have conversations with people. Make connections with people that are in your industry, especially leading people that are hiring in your industry. Even if you're not looking for a job, and you see someone is hiring in that industry, make a connection with them, and then they'll probably reach out to you. They might not, right? But then at least you have a connection with people in your industry, because LinkedIn uses algorithms, and those algorithms expose you a lot of the time, whether people are looking or they're not looking. It helps. It provides a lot of exposure, right? So that's covering connections. I encourage making connections. It really helps, especially if you're in a space where you're selling, or the type of work that you like. For instance, as a recruiter, the more connections you have, the better your job becomes. The easier it is for you to get people to know who's who, and those people are then also able to refer you to other people, right? Also, if you're in sales, you know people, they know other people, you establish connections, and networks based on your immediate network and connections. I'll then go to jobs, right? There's an icon there on LinkedIn. Just when you open LinkedIn, there'll be the jobs icon. It's in the middle. On jobs, you'll see just next to the LinkedIn icon there on your left hand corner. There's a search tab, right? So I'm just gonna search talent acquisition specialist. Talent acquisition specialist. I've searched that. So what LinkedIn is able to do, or what another on the search engines, it provides you with location, right? Maybe you're looking to relocate, or you're open to relocation. You can look for jobs in different um, geographies, or different countries, different regions, different provinces, different states, whatever the case may be for you, right? So you can put in South Africa, South Africa. The experience level that you're looking for: internship, entry level, associate, mid to senior level, whatever your level is. You might be looking for a promotion, or looking to expand or to grow in your career. You might look for career a job opportunity that's a notch higher. Maybe you were an intern, or you're currently an intern. You can then look for an entry level job, right? You can look for that. Maybe you feel that the internship contract that you're on is not empowering you, or is not in line with what you desire to do, or what you've studied to do, right? And then you can look for a job in that regard. And then you can also look for jobs at specific companies. Maybe you want to work for telecommunication, a telecommunications company. You can then search telecommunication companies that are leading, or your desired telecommunications company. You can look for that. And then job type, which then speaks to the contract type, or the type of contract that you um, would like to undertake. Then there's full-time, part-time, contract, temporary, internship, right? You can search based on that. Whether it's on-site or remote, you can also search on the ideal type of role that you'd like to search for. And maybe you have a newborn baby, and or you're a very family orientated person that does not want to compromise, or mm, that does not want to leave home. Maybe you hate traffic. Actually, uh, I think I'd have to correct that. You might be family orientated and still want to work on site, right? Based on your preference. So maybe you hate traffic. You hate traffic, so you want to work remotely, or whatever the case may be. You can search on that, right? And then you can just work on your search as best as possible. But what I encourage the most, guys, is to uh, keep your LinkedIn profile as professional as possible. Engage as much as you can. Be as active as much as you can. Just as much as you are on Instagram, or log on Facebook, whatever your favorite social media platform is. give LinkedIn as much attention as you do to those other platforms, right? WhatsApp, whatever, you know. Give LinkedIn as much attention as you do to those platforms, because LinkedIn is can be very and extremely beneficial. Can provide you with as much exposure as possible, you know. Because on LinkedIn, I think what I didn't cover on is that on LinkedIn there are communities, communities for, say for instance, you're in law or you're a developer, you're in marketing, you're a recruiter. There are communities on all of those professions, you know, or whatever profession that you're in. There are communities for that, and on those communities, there are industry leaders. When I say communities, people that are developers, who are familiar with platforms such as GitHub, you know, that's an example of a community. That's where people in that industry live. You know, they live in those communities to say. They also those communities are also hiring or plugging. Yeah, I think the perfect term is plugging platforms to say maybe they don't have the time to put up a job post, you know. They then would go onto their community to say, hey guys, I'm looking for a senior developer, or hey guys, I'm looking for desktop technician, or I'm looking for sales engineer, you know. They go onto those communities because those communities are networks, are a networking platform within a networking platform, right? I hope you catch my drift on that. So it's important, it's extremely important for you to play around LinkedIn. Just click on different things. Try and figure out what is what, you know. What happens if I do that, because you can't break the system, you can't break the platform, you won't break it. So just use maximize it as much as possible, you know. Expose yourself to it as much as possible, you know. Click, you know. I'll just go back to jobs. Excuse me. On jobs, just give me a second. Let me just click on this job. When you open a job, right, it will just on that where you apply. There's a underneath apply. There's usually a section there or a tab there that says meet the hiring team, right? And that's usually the person that has posted the job, or the people, the hiring team. On that part, you can then establish a connection with the person that's hiring. You can directly connect with that person, and you can directly connect with them and send them a message to say, hey, Kinna Buhlali Mkwanazi, I saw that you're hiring for a marketing manager. Please, here with a link to my LinkedIn profile, or here's a link to my LinkedIn profile. Also attached is my CV, you know, or a link to your website, a link to your work, whatever the case may be, you know. So you need to maximize LinkedIn as much as possible. Like I said, if you only using LinkedIn for job hunting purposes, maximize or explore that jobs section as much as you can. Maximize on it, play around with it, just use it to the max, and it will help you. If you want to build your profile, look at other people's profiles, live on LinkedIn for whatever it is that you're on LinkedIn for. Live on it, live on the platform, use the platform as much as possible, and I promise you'll thank me later. I promise you, you'll see how much your network grows. You'll see how much you start being exposed to people, and how exposed your profile gets. You also then, one of the telling signs is, I know a lot of people I find it very useless, but then it's a very telling function that LinkedIn has, where it tells you how many people have viewed your profile in that week, or during a particular time frame. That is helpful, because that is then, it's LinkedIn giving you feedback, right? It's LinkedIn giving you feedback on your profile, on how much your profile stands out. And you'll then start seeing an average. You'll then start seeing your average changing. You'll see your average changing based, like I said, LinkedIn has algorithms. So if the more active you are, and the more updated and the more detailed your profile is, the more it stands out. The more which then means, a lot of the time when the recruiters are searching in your industry, your profile pops up, your profile appears, because you're active, because you're engaging, because your profile has detail, your profile has meat on it. So this is a topic that this is another topic that I'll continue speaking on. And also, I'd like for you to also engage with me on aspects or facets on LinkedIn that I might not have covered and you'd like to know more about. So yeah, let's engage on that. If you disagree on something, let me know, and let's engage on that. Comment on whatever you think. Provide feedback to me on what I've just shared, and on things that you'd like to learn more about. Like I said, I'll keep on speaking on LinkedIn. I'll speak about messaging. I'll speak about communication, how to respond, how to respond, how to engage, how to reach out to people. I'll speak more about that in another episode. But for this episode, I'd like to wrap it up on that. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please engage with me. Share the content with people that you think it might be helpful to. Till next time, till the next video, till the next episode. Peace. Ninitanda nonke 99. Ah, shucks.